So, what's up, fellas and ladies and whomever watching these videos that I'm making? should- yeah, so I got, the Phillies. That's my team. And right now I'm going against the Dodgers. So you see Clayton Kershaw. So I'm just going to show you what it is with one runner on. So we got one runner on, and there you go. Usually, for the most part, the defense is going to set up, especially if it's you know one or less outs in the game in the inning. They're going to set up for a double play. Shortstop and second baseman. So you see that. So what you want to do is you just want to look for the hole. The hole is right here. If you didn't see it, most people understand that and see that. But on to the next one now. So say you got a runner on first and second. Pull up a righty, but Reese. So you got a runner on first and second, and whether it's 1, 2 outs, whatever situation may be, you try to drive the ball, whatever. So you're trying to find the hole. So when it's a runner on first and second, it still pretty much stays the same. That the hole should probably be on the left side of the infield towards the first base back. And the reason why in this case is because second baseman has to take care of the base runner, so he's no longer really in his prime position. Although when the pitch is being thrown, he jumps back into his position. And you see that the first baseman is not being hold, as you can always see. But if you're like anybody else, you're gonna move the base runner up, and that's gonna get the base runner in a vision of the first baseman. So if a ball gets hit sharply, the first baseman may not be able to make a play on it because the base runner is in his way. So either way, you're still pretty much winning in that situation. And if you can pull it between the line, you can actually might get a double down a first base line. So that also is a good opportunity. Hitting it over here is not going to really work too much. And also, you might be able to hit it straight back up the middle and out of the position of the second baseman or the shortstop, and he won't be able to get to it, and you can get a base hit that way. As you can see, hold up, it's 2 outs now, so the second baseman literally went back up, and this went back up the same way. You still want to do that because if you try to pull it over here, there's really nothing over there that you're going to do, and you still have all this space in between the second and the shortstop. So if you still try to push the ball towards the first base side, even though that the second baseman is more into a natural position on the grass, you still have a shot to like like push it through there, or still push it through here, between the second base and the shortstop, or you can still push it between the second base and the first baseman, or you can push it down the line between the first baseman and the foul line. So that means you get like 3 options on this side compared to maybe 2 over here, third base line in between the third base and the shortstop, which is kind of a tighter hole. So this way you got a little bit of a better chance to probably do it. So even with 2 outs, the situation still remains the same. So that was that. I didn't get a chance to show you. I was trying to hopefully show y'all something. That one. Alright, so we're gonna leave that on for a second and turn him off. And then we do that. Okay, so now you have a base runner on second. So now you're thinking like, alright, where are you gonna go? Where you should go? Any guess? Say no, I'm just joking. So with a runner on second base, pretty much what you want to do is you want to pay attention to the batter. Not so much the batter, but the base runner. So because the second baseman is the guy that's cheating in and covering the base runner, that means you attack that side. Sometimes it's usually this side. So let me see if I And switch the batter. I think is when you switch the batter. Oop, you switch the batter around. So let's put double in. Okay. So see, now you see the option is on the shortstop. So you'll try to push it between the shortstop and the third baseman, and you know pretty much that's how that works out. When you have a runner on second, when nobody else on base, or maybe with a runner on third, but when and a runner on first. Like if you got a runner on first, if like I put a runner on first, this doesn't really change anything. You know what I'm saying? Like this part here doesn't change anything. Like you might want to swing it over here, but you probably gonna want to swing it over here. So let me show you something. So let's see. Pretty sure nothing changes. Yeah. See, nothing changes because there's two runners on. He's not worrying about the base runner as much. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll creep in behind him and try to, you know, place a tag on him if he takes too big of a lead. But he's not going to hold him on with, you know, two base runners on because he doesn't want to give up an easy play. If he holds on, it's going to be a big ass hole right in between them, and he doesn't really want to do that. So he wants to hold a runner on. Now, of course, people can change their defense and switch everything around. So sometimes you gotta keep an eye on those things. But for the most part, nobody does that, especially on online play. They usually leave it on some form of auto, unless it's like one of those dire situations where they want to bring the infield in, or if they want to make sure you don't get a bunt down, and they know you're going to be in a bunt mode. So, yeah. Other than that, you still pay attention to the shortstop, and you'll still pay attention to the second baseman, wherever side is on. So you got a lefty pitcher up, so if it's lefty lefty, it's going to be the shortstop. If it's lefty righty, it's going to be it's going to be the second baseman. It's probably the same thing if it's a righty righty versus yeah, righty or versus a righty lefty. See, I pushed it up the middle. I didn't really get a chance to pull it into the hole. I just pushed it up the middle, so that was pretty cool. Now I got a runner on third. This is great. I got a runner on third, 2 outs, and you know I know everybody's like, well, where should I go with the ball? Where should I go? Where should I go? Do you know? Do you know where you should go? Alright, so this is what I wanted to show, and it's probably one of the reasons why this is real long. So, like I said, I'm not gonna pause it, but I'm gonna hold it down real quick so he doesn't be able to pitch. The patches changed everything up. I used to do this a lot and hold the arrow up into a diagonal situation. So when there's no base runners on or anything like that, and there's no hole to really take advantage of, like if a runner's on third, pretty much I don't do anything. I don't try to pull the ball. I don't try to do anything. I just leave it as is, especially when there's 2 outs, because you're not really going to be able to do anything. So I just pretty much just don't even try to move the directional anymore, because like I said, it doesn't really do anything, especially when you're online. You're playing against players with ridiculous, you know, K per 9s and hit per 9 ratings. So, you know, there's really no benefit from it. Sometimes you can get something good from it, but for the most part, it's just like, it's not even worth it. Just try to square up the ball best as you can, get good timing on it, and then hopefully something will happen. So, because it's 2 outs left, you know, any kind of base hit is going to get my runner home, so it doesn't really matter. If it was 1 out or less, maybe I'll try to look to pull the ball in that direction. Excuse me, in the direction of the third base side, so I can possibly squeeze in a run that way. Or if it's like a runner on first and third, then maybe I'll try to go and push the ball over to the opposite side, because maybe you're trying to like avoid trying to get a double play or anything. But in this situation right here, I'll just leave it like this and just try to swing and just try to get a base hit. You know, because that's all you pretty much you need. So it doesn't really matter which way you go on. So this is like kind kind of tips. I guess I don't really kind of have to make the video now, but I was gonna make the video later anyway and go into the details. Oh, I should have really drove that somewhere. My goodness. But yeah. So in this situation, 2 outs are runner on third. Pretty much that's it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You finally gave in. It's practice, man. Let me hit the ball. And get the bases loaded, no outs. And as you can see, everything is taken care of. Now, I could push the ball here. I can push the ball there. But nobody's really holding on the runner for the most part. If I had to take a guess, I'd say probably the second baseman is kind of holding on. The shortstop doesn't really look like he's holding on. And the third baseman and first baseman are kind of sort of whatnot really holding on, especially the third baseman. So the third baseman side, in my opinion, is like no go. So you might want to, you could possibly, like I said, you could possibly push the ball this way and get an option play, because the second baseman doesn't look like he's totally committed in fielding. I think he's kind of somewhat keeping an eye on the guy on second. Excuse me. So you can possibly hit it this way, but at the same time you can just leave it alone. Now you see the guy, he has the runner on first, he's holding him, and there's a runner on third. So it's plain as day, you know, it's obvious. You're going to try to shoot the ball through the hole over here, and that's the thing I was trying to show you, is that when you got a runner on first, it kind of like changes things. So that's where you want to shoot the ball at. All right, so okay, so now you got a runner on second and third. Neither one of them is being held. So, in my opinion, you could try to push it this way, because there's 2 runners this way. So, you know, they gotta be responsible for that. So because if you try to push it this way, and maybe you don't, and maybe you're like too early on it or whatever, and you pull it up the middle, that's a still good gaping hole. And if you get it over the second base or over the shortstop head, you got a little bit of greenery in between this right fielder, left fielder, and the center fielder, so you can shoot in those gaps. This over here is kind of a little bit more, you know what I mean, covered up. I mean, you could possibly do something over here too, and get some greenery that way. But I just feel like this side is probably be more consistent. But at the same time, you can not also do anything. You could just leave it and don't have to worry about it, and just let it play out however it's going to play out. You know, so you can do either way. It doesn't really matter. I just want to let you know that you have an option to doing it. That's pretty much it. I hope some of the video was cool and, you know, helpful, and you'll be able to use it in your own little game, playing when you're trying to score some runs. Because I think with the hitting, especially online, you know, people get hits. You know, I've seen people, you know, box scores. They usually have like, you know, 6, 7 hits or something like that, maybe even more. I've even had a lot of games where I had hits, but I never was able to get them home. And I feel like that, me personally, because I use directional, you know, it's a little different. When you use zone, it's kind of different. And pure analog is just so crazy. I was gonna do a video on that. I changed my mind. It's not even worth it. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so if you liked the video, hit the like button. Subscribe. Try to make some more videos. And I'll talk to you later. This is Dre. I'm out. Peace.